Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another PUBG Black Budget video. We have some insane news, some new leaks that are coming out that we're going to cover. As you can see in this image up here, we're about to blow this image up and break it down. But before we do, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, all those things so you don't miss out. We're going to be covering Black Budget on the channel as much as humanly possible. And as of late, there's been different leaks that have happened. This past weekend, there was an in-game cinematic leak that we're kind of already started to cover, and then just yet like earlier today, I think, as of the recording of this video, there was this image that popped up as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So Sarge OP over on X shared this image, and I want to blow this up, and we're going to talk about this for a second. We're also going to talk about some other things and some other screenshots that leaked for the stuff. But so just to catch you guys up, so PUBG Black Budget is an upcoming extraction shooter from the people at Crafton that make PUBG, obviously. Now, the map is called Coley Island, and it's going to be 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers in size. And then we know that the zone that closes in is going to be called the anomaly, and it causes mutations, not just to people, but anything biological. So on the map, we're going to see things like biological mutated creatures, like mutated alligators and stuff. This was a screenshot that leaked showing this crazy, if you look at his face, this crazy alligator looking thing that's like super mutated. There's also going to be like humanoid zombie characters that are on the PvE side of this, but there's also going to be other player squads that you can run into. So, but this image today, this came out earlier today, and sorry I didn't get to it sooner, IRL stuff, but here we go. So the writing is kind of hard to read, so I'll try to point it out for you, and we'll talk about this line here in a second. That's going to be important, but right here it seems like you have 4 main modes. Now, again, I want to preface by saying that these leaks are coming from internal closed beta testing gameplay. We haven't seen any gameplay footage. I've seen there's a couple of screenshots that are like from in-game footage, I guess. But the main meat and potatoes of it was this past weekend when there was a full in-game cinematic that leaked, and and it was up for like 12 something hours until Crafton DMCA'd it and got it taken down. We were able to see it and go through it and get all this information. So that's, we're going to try to, without just showing the full blown cinematic and getting a takedown, but we do want to cover it here on the channel. So back to this image. So the there seems to be 4 main modes here. It says on the far left, it says like going from left to right, it says deploy, explore, extract, and upgrade. Now, this is pretty interesting, and we can kind of talk about it. So, deploy sounds like a normal, like going on a mission or something like that. But then there's a separate mode that says extract. So, I'm not sure what the differences are between deploy and extract. Maybe deploy is more battle royale centric, or perhaps it's more like mission based with factions, because it was leaked that there seems to be some competing factions in this game. So I'm not sure. And in the extract mode, second to last from the right, I guess, is it could be something else entirely. Maybe it's an extract with certain missions, not necessarily the main gameplay loop. We don't know. Explore I find really interesting because, as you can see here, it's you got some kind of panther or cougar looking creature that is down, and you gotta scavenge it, I guess. And it says explore. You have whatever the firearm is with 31 ammo capacity left, and so we don't. This one's kind of a surprise to me. It just so there's just a mode dedicated to exploring the island, I guess. So to me, this says there's definitely going to be some PVE centric missions, perhaps, or maybe there's vendor quests that require you to go explore and find things for these vendors or factions, whatever they are. We don't know. Like this is all brand new. This was breaking today, thanks to Sarge OP over on X. And then on the far right you have what it says upgrade, and it looks like there's a hideout. Now this really hard to read sentence here, it says, and it's almost impossible to read, but I can barely make it out. It says explore the island, experience battles, I think is what it says, gather loot and escape. By upgrading your hideout, you can prepare better equipment to gain an advantage in combat. So that's what that says right there. And again, it's like super blurry. The image is not really that high res. This is the best resolution I could get it in. Again, when it comes to these kinds of things, we're not going to complain too much. The fact that we're getting any info on this game is incredible. So it's this sentence seems to hint that either the explore node is highlighted or the upgrade node is highlighted, because it talks about exploring the island but gathering loot, but it also says um, by upgrading your hideout. So maybe it has the hideout up highlighted. I'm not sure. I can't really make out if there's a cursor on any of these or anything like that. But it says welcome to Black Budget. And again, this stuff is this leaked out on X, so the powers that be don't come and slam it on my door. Hopefully, we're just talking about what we're seeing on the internet. But yeah, and I really wish that one on the far left had a better image, but we do have some good images from the leaks on the map. So this one here is the latest thing. And before we, I guess that's kind of covers this image. What I do want to cover is a few more of the leaked images of the map. So this one here, we're going to talk about this. So yesterday's video, if you were tuned in, yesterday's video covered kind of like what they're saying is the lore of the map, where the map, this Coley Island is like stuck in this time loop in the year 2002 specifically. And it so the way it worded it in this leak was that when you go in, however long you are in a match and the zone closes up, and once you're done, everyone gets kicked out and the time loop resets. So that's how they're explaining the gameplay loop in the lore, is that it's a time loop, and this anomaly that's closing in is causing these mutations, and that's why all these PVE, biological enemies and humanoid zombie enemies and whatever else is that's why they are the way they are. And then you and your squad have this armband that you use to inject this compound that is like this anti-mutagen or anti-mutating serum or something. So while you're on the island, you have this armband, this device that is pumping you full of whatever that serum is to keep your genes from literally mutating. But it does state specifically that if you go into the zone, this armband's not going to save you from mutating. Now, we don't know if you can full blown mutate into a zombie and then like run around as a zombie. It seems like the zone would just kill you. But of course, if we find out more details on that, then I will definitely share those. But the map again is 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. It's called Coley Island, and it's stuck in this time loop. And it emphasizes that when you go in, it says that the civilian structures don't hold a lot of stuff, but the further inland you go, then you have higher tier loot, because the research facilities are like in the center of the map, I guess. So the further inland you go, the more risky and dangerous it gets, and but the higher the reward. So the higher the risk, the higher the reward. Now this is an extraction shooter, so if you die, whatever you have on your person, you lose. So think like Tarkov or whatever else, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Now, um, again, we talked about the time loop. This here is another leaked image of the map. And this here actually is probably one of the best images. And I wanted to share with you guys that, again, for those out there, the powers that be, like this is stuff that leaked out on the internet, and it was on the internet for like 12 plus hours, and it's been circulating a few places. Um, All I know is that this is from some kind of closed beta test. I don't have any idea. Like I'm not part of that test. I wasn't part of it. I didn't sign any NDAs. Like I just saw this on X, and that's where we are. So this here has all these names. You got Harbor, Lagoon Landing, Community Center, Colonel HQ, Blackrock Barracks, the Ark, which that sounds pretty important. Greenhouse, flooded, flooded flats, waterworks, Serenity, and then I think I already said the Wellness Center. So these are just some of the bigger POIs that they're naming on this particular map. At the top right, it says active contracts, reply, coil crash course, and then wormhole extraction. Wormhole extraction is very interesting, especially with this whole like time loop lore business. And that wormhole extraction contract leads right into this image, which seems to have been leaked gameplay footage that they took a screenshot of. And as you can see, the character's holding his pistol with 16 rounds. You have this very the HUD seems very similar to like Battlefield, but and then you have this freaking portal, which I'm guessing is what they're referencing as an extract point for that contract. And I just lost my freaking image there. So um yeah, so a portal extract is part of the contract there, which is pretty interesting stuff. And yeah, I think this game, look, we have a lot of different info, a lot of stuff going on, and I want to know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about this whole um, different modes, the explore, deploy, extract, upgrade? Again, it seems like there's factions that you can do contracts with, like you kind of like you would expect. But I don't know about you guys. That's kind of it for what I have. But I want to know, I want to hear from you guys. Like I don't the more I hear about this game, the more of this stuff I'm seeing, the more I'm getting excited about it because I know a lot of the internet was like, "Oh, PUBG black budget extraction shooter, like another extraction shooter, like what are we doing? It's probably going to be terrible." The typical like social media negativity, right? But it's like, no, no, no. I think they've been working on this for a long time, and I think that this has a really interesting approach. And I like the sci-fi. I like the anomaly stuff. It's almost like the movie Annihilation with the shimmering, like Black Budget's calling it the anomaly. In Annihilation, I think they called it the shimmer or something. But the shimmer in that movie did the same thing. It basically like consumed this area of land, and anything in it got like severely mutated and wacky and weird. And that seems to be what they're playing on, the trope that they're playing on here, mixed in with, the extraction shooter element and all the stuff. But again, I do find it to be pretty interesting. One more little piece I will leave you guys with is the factions and stuff. They said there's like three factions. I think it's Cal, Genosis, and there was one more. I forget what it is. Maybe it's I'm looking at my stuff here. Um anyway, there's supposed to be three factions. Cal and Genosis are two of them. And it starts with a B. Like it's spelled weird, like Bakul or something, or Bakken maybe. And we don't know if those factions are supposed to be the vendors or if they serve a different purpose entirely. Like they could just serve as competing factions that give you contracts and missions, or they could be also vendors. We don't know that yet. So and again, these are leaked screenshots, and some of it's in game, but very few of it. A lot of what has been shown has been screenshots from the leaked cinematics from last weekend. um so that's pretty much what I got. And of course, if anything else leaks out that we can cover, that we can show or talk about, I'll do my best to do that. So again, do me a favor, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think about this. Like, comment, subscribe, bell notifications, keep those on because again, anything black budget, we're going to be covering here on the channel as much as I can. And of course, if it is indeed coming out this year, which is what the rumor is, you can bet we're going to be streaming and playing that. So thank you guys so much for the support. I am going to find the end button and we're going to get the hell out of here. So have a good one, guys.
Helmet fire.